Update. My brother is getting married to my ex and invited me to the wedding. Original post. I, 39 male, have been a caretaker to my brother Justin, 33 male, since he was 10. I was only 16 when our parents died. I had to take care of the household because my brother was still very little. I did everything for him. He was the apple of my eye. I guess I spoiled him a lot. I never dated that much because I was the breadwinner for my brother. That is, until I met Melissa, 35 female, almost 10 years ago. We dated for 2 years. It was great. My brother loved her. One day, I eavesdropped a conversation she was having with her friend. The gist of that conversation was something like her friend was asking about me. Melissa said that she loves me a lot. She loves that I take care of her in every way, but I am pretty average when it comes to the bedroom. Her friend asked her if she was going to talk to me about it or how is she happy, and she told her that her fixture is my brother. She went on to explain how she and Justin have been having an affair for 8 months, and she thinks it is justified because she thinks Justin is better in bed than I am. You can imagine how painful it was for me. I went inside the house pretending I didn't hear a thing. Then I confronted Justin about it. I know how to get him to talk. I pressed this matter after he was denying it, and he eventually broke down and said it was the truth. He didn't say anything because he didn't want to hurt me, that he and Melissa are in love and wanted to get married, but Melissa won't leave me. I was furious. I wanted to beat the heck out of him, but I just told him he is dead to me and left. I also kicked out Melissa, and she stayed with my brother and his roommates. My brother was banging on my door non-stop, that I had to move in with a friend and told everyone to not disclose my location to my brother. His calls and emails were all the same, that he was sorry and he never wanted to hurt me and that he will break up. I stopped the bank account that I had made for him, something like a trust fund that he can access when he is 25. He was not my brother anymore. I went into deep depression. I didn't eat or sleep properly. I would have nightmares of my brother and ex laughing at me that I suck in bed. That if I was good enough, she would have never left me. It got so bad that I once stood in front of a train track because it was too unbearable for me. Luckily, my friend saved me. I do not have much friends, but they were my rock. I stayed with them for a year and went to therapy. I did group sessions. I had a lot of anxiety regarding intimacy, so I didn't date for a long time. My friend encouraged me to try, so I did try once with a one-night stand, but it was bad for both of us. I still go to therapy to this day, but other aspects of my life have improved. I focus more on building new relationships with new people. I want to travel and explore more hobbies. I was living for myself. I'm in a relationship with someone for 3 years now. We are engaged and we are having a kid together. Wendy, 32 female, is a really nice person. She knows all about my insecurities and problems that I've faced because of my brother. She was mature and patient with me, and I was able to trust someone enough to be in a relationship. Now, 2 days ago, I got an invitation in my mail about a wedding. And as the title says, it was from my brother. He has kept tabs on me from afar and invited me to his wedding with none other than Melissa. Looking at their names doesn't hurt that much now. I just feel numb. If it was 8 years ago, I would have a meltdown. I still feel this pain that I cannot be happy for my brother's big day, but my fiancé suggests that we don't go and delete the invite. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I wouldn't have been as strong as you, man. I'm in shock and in a rage of the heartless people who hurt you. I could never imagine how horrible this must have made you feel. There is nothing more I want than to watch them suffer. I have no love or blessing left for him. When my parents died, they told me to look after him, and then when we are adult, we will look after each other. He threw it all away. It doesn't hurt that Melissa cheated. It hurts more that my own brother has cheated me. You fulfilled all the duties your parents ask of you, so you owe them and him nothing. He, however, should have been your #1 backup, and wasn't. He will spend his life posting on another Reddit with a tagline of total piece of trash. Sending you the invite was disordered thinking, likely along the lines of, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be so happy, blah blah blah. But it's designed to hurt. They both were adults and chose a path. You deserve to live a good life. I'm so sorry for what they did to you, especially your own brother. Screwed both of them. They have some nerves sending you an invite. Listen to your fiancé. Don't go. Act like you never even received an invitation. You don't have a brother anymore. You're better off without him in your life. Don't know what he was thinking when sending the invite. Maybe hoping you rekindle and forgive him? But he's a POS and he didn't deserve you. I'm happy that you are happy with your fiancé and your coming child. Congrats to that. Carry on living your life and never let your brother back in. He will never be sorry, especially since he's marrying your cheating ex. He can look from the inside and beg for your forgiveness, but you don't need him. He's marrying a cheater too, and I hope your ex cheats on him, and I'm pretty sure she will in the future. Or maybe she has already and he hasn't found out yet. Either way, throw that invitation away and carry on with your life without him. Now for the update. Hello guys, I was thinking about making an update soon. I know people in Reddit really likes updates, but I delayed it because I have a baby girl now. When I posted this, my fiancé, now wife, was already 8.5 months pregnant. We had an early delivery, and my baby girl Emily is so cute. She's a little bundle of joy for both of us. She's so tiny and cute. She has eyes like mine, and I cannot believe we made something so precious. I spent as much time holding her that my wife gets mad because she thinks I'm going to cuddle her to death. Also, my fiancé and I got married pretty quickly. It was a court marriage. Neither of us wanted a big wedding anyways. We are all fine. Some of you asked me how my brother knew my address. Well, he didn't. He only knew my email, my work email. He probably knows what company I go to, so from there, he tracked down my email and sent an invitation. A few days ago, I got another email from my brother as I have forgotten to block him. I usually don't check my work email because most of them are forwarded in Slack. My brother made a long email where he basically told me he knows I will not come to his wedding, but still wanted me there for his big day. He apologized for what he has done and that he would never forgive himself for doing me wrong. That he knew he shouldn't have slept with Melissa, but did it anyways. Growing up, he had been jealous of me. He was jealous that I am the more capable brother who is just babysitting him. So when Melissa approached him, he felt like he has more importance. He knew he was wrong. He wanted to stop. The day I said he was dead to me, he had a panic attack. He tried his best to contact me, but my friends refused to give up my location. He was begging them. He and Melissa split up for a while, and he was desperate to find me. He hit rock bottom when he heard from a friend of his that I tried to end myself. Even his friends judged him harshly after what he has done. His friends saw me as a big brother too, so they all refused to be at his wedding with Melissa. Melissa and him reconciled 2 years ago. By that time, Melissa was a single mom. She feels guilty about what she has done because the father of her child has cheated on her and left her. She also wanted to meet me and say sorry, and from there they rekindled their romance. Lastly, he said he cannot go through with a wedding, so he called it off and he fought with Melissa and they broke up again. He wants me to be with him in his most important day. He knows I have disowned him, but he is willing to do anything to reconcile, even if it takes him his whole life. That's it. There was a bunch of whining stuff that I ignored, and I just deleted the email. My therapist said forgiveness isn't something that is forced. It comes from subconscious level that we know we can forgive that person. And it should be an option only when someone shows that they are sorry for their actions, and not by their words. But honestly, I don't want to. I know I am being petty and cruel, but I am happy the way my life is, and adding him will cause stress. My wife told me to forget it, that my brother is not guilty at all. And as soon as I forgive him, he would just go back to Melissa. He needs to figure out his life his own. I have babied him enough. Now it is his turn to be an adult. Edit. People are asking me about my brother's life, so I want to clear things out. I do not have any idea what he has been doing with his life. I moved away from my place further from him. I transferred my job too. He must have known my place of work from where he got the email. For 10 years of my life, I pretended he doesn't exist, along with therapy. I treated him like he was someone dead. I don't know what went down with him and Melissa, but from his email, I can paint a picture that they broke up after dating a few years. His friends were unhappy with him dating this woman, and they decided to drop the wedding because of Melissa. My brother told me that he doesn't want to get married unless I am there to support him. That could be anyone, doesn't have to be Melissa. Why Melissa came back, I don't know. Maybe she thought I would accept her like a doormat, but she knows me better than that. I'm stubborn when it comes to holding grudges. I didn't know I had an impact on his friends so much. They were good people who would hang out with us. Though they were younger, they treated me like their own brother. I did get apologies from two of his friends who never had a positive male role model after I blocked my brother, but I don't have any contact with them. Well, Opie, your brother is facing the consequences for his actions harshly, but every choice we make has a price, and he should have known that when he was meeting your ex behind your back. I don't blame you at all. Melissa got what she deserved. Her ex cheating on her is her karma for having slept with your brother. You've done so much for him, and I think that if he truly regrets what he did to you, he will get back on his own feet without asking for your help. I wonder how he even had the audacity to invite you to the wedding with his now ex, knowing how much both of them hurt you. You were right for not attending. Forgiveness can't be forced. Whenever you think you're ready to forgive him, you will. If not, then not. I don't judge you for not forgiving him. If he truly regretted this, he wouldn't have decided to marry Melissa, the woman who destroyed my life along with my brother. What did he think? That I will forget all the pain and trauma they have caused me? Forgiveness doesn't set you free. It just creates a different trap. Over the years, I have learned forgiveness is a tool made by cowards who just wants to get away with their wrongdoings without facing any consequences. They think having forgiveness removes the toll of guilt they have. True forgiveness is never forced. It is earned. And he still has done nothing to earn that. My wife told me to forget it. My brother is not guilty at all. As soon as I forgive him, he would go back to Melissa. Your wife is smart. He got back with her 2 years ago, knowing their affair was the reason you were hurt, and only canceled the marriage when he realized you won't attend. So the smart bet would be that he'd go back to her as soon as you forgive him. Crappy people think forgiveness means you accepted their wrongdoings. So if you forgive him, you can't be mad at him again for the same mistake, right? I'm glad to have her in my life. One of the red flags I missed with Melissa is that she was immature. She doesn't have EQ, though she's a good student. My wife is opposite. She's very mature and sophisticated. I think most people overlook those qualities and value superficial stuff. Yes, I don't believe that he is guilty if he still chooses Melissa over me. I am not saying to make me his first priority, but he should at least have the decency to not include a woman who broke my heart. What was that old adage? Forgive and forget? It's BS. Forgiveness doesn't have to be verbally reconciling with the offending party. Sometimes people need that just to speak and have the closure. But sometimes you don't. I'd say oftentimes you don't. You can forgive, but just forgive yourself. It sounds like you're doing that and moving on. You don't want toxic people in your life, and that's a good, healthy decision. Yep, I'm too sleep deprived now to think about my brother. He has been calling my friend to know my whereabouts. I don't know if he knows about my baby or not, but he lost the privilege to be any of my future kids' uncle the day he decided to betray me. Last story. My wife cheated on me, and when I confronted her, she just laughed at me. I cheated on my wife 4 years ago, male 38 and female 41. I regret it to this day, and I have never done anything since. We have 2 small children, and when she found out, she moved out. Life was so hard on both of us, and we were miserable. I love my wife more than anything, and losing her was excruciating. After a few months apart, I begged her to come back, and we took it slow, going to therapy and just trying to build our life together back up. She moved back after a year and everything was back to normal again. We were even stronger, and our relationship grew. We are very happy together. I finally thought our life was perfect again. Then about a week ago, a man showed up at my door. And when I opened, he was confused, then apologized for mixing the days up. I was supposed to fly home with my children the next day. My wife took over and she went back to the guy's car, and they talked for 5 minutes and he drove away. I asked her who he was, and she said he was just a friend. He came to pick her up since I was supposed to be at my parents', but he mixed the days. I was shocked, so I asked her if she was sleeping with him. She was so unbelievably unbothered, looked at me for a moment, and said yes. I was speechless. Are you sleeping with others? Yes. Since when? Since we got back together. She was calm the whole time, talking about it like it was normal. She then asked me why it was okay for me and not for her. And when I said that I never as much as looked at another woman since I cheated, she was surprised at first. Then she laughed at me. She said she just assumed that I did, so she thought if I could, then so could she. I canceled my trip to stay with her at home, but she said that she was sorry. She already made plans. I got very upset and started yelling at her. She said that if I didn't like it, maybe we aren't supposed to be together. Then she said if you start yelling again, I want a divorce. Now for the advice. It's over, my guy. She's checked out the relationship. It is only with you for convenience. You might be upset about how she responded to your cheating with her dishonesty and cheating, but sometimes when you break something, you can't put it back together. This is the hard truth. She didn't even consider canceling her plans with this dude. He means way more to her at this point. Exactly. While she should have said a quiet part out loud, he lost her the day she found out he was cheating. Often it's very hard to bring a woman back once they see the relationship differently, and she never came back. He just thought she did. I was once told by a woman that when a woman is done with a relationship, she has put a lot of thought into it. That there is no going back to the way it was. Once that person is shown in a particular light, there are just 0 F's given. For sure, I didn't cry when I filed for divorce or afterward. Those tears had been shed, and I was 100% ready to move on. As someone who got cheated on and tried to work it out, realistically, I despised him since the very moment I found out. It was over then. Not that I didn't truly try, but I never imagined how much it ruins a relationship until I was cheated on. Not that I cheated, but I always thought it was something you can work out. I've known people staying together and seeming happy after one partner cheated, but effort was placed from both sides. It's not true for every relationship though. Sometimes the damage is just too much, that it can't be repaired no matter how much love is actually there. The betrayal and the disrespect just cancels the romantic love out. You can care, but you just checked out without realizing it. Yep, it's one of those bittersweet things you realize when you're in that situation. I too found out that I guess there is something I can't forgive. Not don't want to, I'm just incapable of it. My ex tried. Not her hardest, but she tried to make things right here and there. It didn't matter though. All I saw was red. There was no healing from this. Everything she did that even minorly inconvenienced me or upset me even a little, I just went nuclear on that and was ready to end it over and over again. At any rate, totally agree. Some people like myself are just not cut out to forgive and work on that type of trust breakdown. Am I the a-hole for breaking my promise and ruining my kid's relationship with her dad? I, 46 female, have 2 kids, 18 female and 15 male, with my ex-husband, 46 male. We got divorced over 10 years ago after I found out he was cheating and got his mistress pregnant. I was so deeply hurt by this, and it took me a long time to put myself together again. After our divorce was finalized, he got married to his mistress, and they now have 2 daughters, 10 and 7. Despite him being a POS to me, he was and still a great father to our kids. And to not potentially ruin their relationship, I agreed to not tell them about the affair after he begged me to not say anything, that he would tell them when the time is right. We share 50-50 custody, though since they are older, they now decide when they go where and for how long. I've been as civil as I could with the situation for our kids' well-being and put clear boundaries in place. Like there's no way on earth I would babysit their kids. After they asked me once. 2 years after the divorce, I started dating a woman, 43 female, and we're now married. That's when my ex told me he felt like I never loved him, since it turns out I'm into women, even though I told him I'm bi. The kids love her. She shares some interests with both the kids, and we all do our annual Star Wars marathon on winter break. Then back in January, I started to feel like they were pulling away from us. At first, I thought it was nothing, just kids being kids. But then they started to spend less and less time with us and more with their dad. I was a bit jealous, I'll admit, but I was also getting worried because they were just not communicating with me at all. And when they did speak to me, they were just snapping at me or at my wife, rolling their eyes, etc. It was clear they were mad at us. So in mid-April, when my wife was out of the house, I sat them down and asked them what was going on and if they were okay. My daughter got really mad at me and started yelling that she was not okay because I led their dad on, that I lied to him, I hurt him, and how could I be such a monster to play with a good man's heart, and she stormed off to her room. I was really confused, so I asked my son, who was quiet, what her sister meant. He said her dad told them that we got divorced after I came out, and that I told him marrying him was the biggest mistake of my life. He started crying and asking why would I do and say such things, and that I didn't just hurt their father, but them and our family. Needless to say, I was furious. I told him to come with me. We went to his sister's room. I knocked on her door and begged her to let me in and let me say something, and she eventually opened the door. We sat on her bed and told them that what their father said was not true. She tried to argue, but I stopped her and asked her to let me talk. I asked them to think a bit and do some math regarding their sister's birthday. They didn't get it, so I asked them her birth date. They tell me, and I tell them that 6 months prior we were in Disneyland, having the time of our lives. They said they remember, so I asked them when did their father moved out. It was about a month after that trip. And when was their sister born? About 5 months after. They started to get it, and my daughter asked me if I'm implying their father cheated on me, and I said yes. She then grabbed her phone and called her aunt, ex's sister, and asked her if it was true that her dad cheated on me. She had to beg her for an answer, and her aunt finally said yes. She then called other family members to confirm. They both apologized to me and to my wife when she came home for how they have been treating us. Then went to their dads the following day and called us to ask if they could move all the things they have there to our house. Soon, I had my ex on my door yelling that I broke my promise and that I sabotaged his relationship with our kids. He didn't leave until I called the police. Our kids have since went low contact with him and his wife. They only go over there to pick up their sisters to hang out with them. My daughter disinvited them from her graduation. My son is no longer going to the boys' camping trip with his dad, uncles, and cousins. I've been getting texts and calls and voicemails from him and his family, calling me an a-hole for ruining their relationship. And I've been starting to feel guilty because he is a good dad, and I did broke my promise. My wife says he crossed the line first. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I realized them by when I started having feelings for my now wife, 2 years after the divorce. Prior to that, I thought I was straight. My daughter has been sulking about not seeing something that was right in front of her. She said she had no reason to question anything because her dad and I seemed okay with each other. I asked them if they wanted to go to therapy. My daughter said that she would like to start in the fall, once she's in her dorm. My son just wants to be left alone with us for a while. Someone said I should force them to go to counseling and talk to their father. It's like you don't have teenagers. I did tell them that what happened between their father and I is between us, and they can see him if they want. They just don't want to right now. They are mad because of the line. Not the a-hole. Your kids are old enough to have figured it out sooner or later. Your ex lied to them first to get the kids on his side. You just corrected his lie. They're old enough to know, old enough to make their decisions about their father, old enough to realize their father has probably lied about other things. Yep, ex decided to fool around and find out. OP not the a-hole. As a fellow single mom with an ex that cheated, I've kept my mouth shut. But if my ex ever decides to open his or blame me like the narc that he is, oh boy will that open a can of worms. You don't screw with a parent's relationship and intentionally lie. I'm so mad for you and your kids. Not a-hole. Respond with, I wouldn't have broken my promise if ex didn't lie and tell them that we divorced due to me being bi. I care more about the relationship with my kids than my ex. He made me a villain when he was the villain. I owe them nothing, yet he tried to destroy me. Screw him. Well, I have told my kids I'm bi. My daughter said he told her that I say that now just for cover. and that I'm not into men at all. And that's why he said I led him on and played with his feelings. And his proof is that I've only been with women since the divorce. That's technically true, but I've only been with only one person since then. Not a-hole. He was a good dad until he did what is called parental alienation, where he told your kids lies about how and why you got divorced. He is the one who broke the agreement by trying to alienate your kids from you. Parental alienation is actually a thing in family court. My wife says he crossed the line first. Your wife is right. His own family even verified to your kids that his cheating is what broke up your marriage. Block the flying monkeys and get a restraining order against your ex. It shouldn't be hard since you have at least one police report on him for harassment. Man, I don't even believe he was that good a dad before. I feel like he got to be the fun dad, and his affair partner picked up the rest with the kids after the divorce. And OP did it before the divorce. Someone who does unnecessary stuff, this serious and dramatic, is not someone who can really ever put their kids, or anyone, before themselves. It's easy to be a great parent when your partners are doing the bulk of the work. I'm also absolutely projecting here. An ex-husband could possibly be a good person to his own kids at least. I have never personally seen that from someone that makes big aggressive lies like this though, and I struggle to believe it's true. Next story. Am I the a-hole here? Husband just accused me of financial infidelity. Husband 33 male and I 33 female have been married for 10 years, together since college. Since starting out, we have made financial security a priority and have been able to achieve that, albeit with some good luck along the way. We both have good jobs, paying close to $200K each. Student loans were paid off within a few years. Both went to state schools with some scholarships, so didn't have a lot of debt to begin with. We live in a house I inherited from my grandmother, so no mortgage, and don't have any credit card debt. We max out our 401ks and currently have 18 months of expenses in our emergency fund and are still adding to it. Our cars are both paid off and should be good for another 5+ years. And we don't have any credit card debt. We manage our finances in a hybrid manner. Joint accounts for bills and savings, and separate accounts for our fun money. We each get a pretty generous monthly allotment. The fun money is strictly for our individual expenses. Hobbies, clothes, outings with friends, etc. And not for things like date nights, vacations, or larger joint purchases like household appliances and repairs which come out of our joint account. We also agreed that if either of us gets any bonuses or has any side hustle income, those will go into our individual fun money accounts, unless the funds are needed for a larger expense such as a major home repair. In terms of the fun money, my husband is much more of a spender than I am, due to expensive hobbies, in particular golf and collecting sports memorabilia, and he's also more into designer clothes. Which is fine, it's his fun money. On the other hand, my hobbies are a lot less expensive, running/working out, reading and baking. In general, I'm more introverted, and a great time for me is tea with a friend at one of our homes with homemade pastries. I have also been getting back into gaming lately, after setting it aside for much of the past decade while building my career. So, after realizing I had more than enough in my fun money account, I decided to overhaul my gaming setup and got myself a new PC, desk, and gaming chair. Total cost about $5,000. However, upon hearing about my purchase, my husband is furious. He says he had no idea I had saved so much money and that I should have consulted him before spending $5,000. I asked what difference it made if it was my own accrued fun money and not our joint funds. And he insisted that my accumulating this amount without telling him was a form of financial infidelity. He says he lost trust in me and doesn't know what else I might be hiding. He is now demanding that I return the items I purchased and deposit most of the funds to our joint account. Then wants to make a new rule that fun money accounts can't accumulate more than $2,000 and that any excess goes back to the joint account. A rule that would obviously favor him as a person who spends most of his allotment each month instead of saving up for anything bigger. I feel like I'm being punished for being more of a day-to-day saver than spender. It wouldn't occur to me to demand to know how much my husband has in his fun money account or to try to micromanage what he spends it on. I wasn't hiding anything deliberately. He never asked about it until after I made the purchases. Still, maybe I should have been more transparent about my plans. So, am I the a-hole? Miscellaneous info. Husband and I each have our own office/hobby room in the house, so it's not like the gaming setup was going in a space he uses. I don't usually game when my husband is home, unless he's already busy doing something else. My biggest block of gaming time is typically when he's off playing golf. Also, I run 40 to 50 miles a week, so it's not like I am generally sedentary. I can't think of a good reason why he would object to me gaming or having a nice gaming setup in my own space in the house. Not a-hole. This isn't a money issue, it's a control issue. Seems like you've spooked him by showing you can quietly amass funds out of sight. You are making a good income and have few expenses, so 5K should not be that big a deal regardless of the circumstance. The only reason it is because your spouse thinks he should have a say in your spending. Read freedom. I'm not saying this is abusive behavior. It could be something else, but this is a thing abusers do. Better to nip it in the bud. Do not agree to the new 2K limit. Push back. The only reason it is because your spouse thinks he should have a say in your spending. Read freedom. Bingo. Came here to find us. OP, money generally means freedom. Freedom to do as you wish. Your husband finding out how you can save such a large amount of money very likely frightens him. He now has verifiable proof that he's been denying to himself, mind you, that you don't need him. If you want to say, "All right, I'm out. Get out of my house, my grandmother left me," he can't say no to that. Opie's got a hand here, and her controlling husband doesn't like it. The fact she has the house should have been enough for him to realize she doesn't need him. My money would have been on. He cannot manage his money without guidance, and is jealous that his wife can afford nice things that he can't. It's funny that he's accusing you of financial infidelity when he is trying to manipulate you into handing over money you saved. This is a naked money grab, not a-hole. Yes, it does feel like he's trying to change the rules and make me feel guilty about not spending all my extra money right away. Honestly, this is one of the main reasons I thought separate discretionary accounts was a good idea. Ironically, I thought it would prevent arguments like this about what we should be spending or saving. Last story. Am I the a-hole for calling my wife petty for not letting me back in the delivery room? So for 3 generations of our family, we have had somebody carry on the name of my great-grandfather. However, despite the fact my dad, uncle, and aunts having 3 boys and 2 girls between them all, so far, all of us have either been suffering with fertility issues or have only had daughters. Don't get me wrong, my wife and I already have a daughter and I love her very much. However, given that the other relatives are either planning to adopt daughters from parents who could not raise them, committing to being child-free, or saying they are happy with 3 girls they have, I felt a lot of pressure on me to be the one that has a son. So much pressure that when we found out my wife was carrying twins, we saw it as a blessing from a higher spirit. However, given our finances, I'm a firefighter and my wife is a CNA for a nursing home, the 1 child and done would have been better for us. We contemplated stopping, but my great-uncle, who is obsessed about how many kids people have, was all like, well, Nelson Peltz had 10 kids. More kids make you find ways of making more money. And other relatives chiming in saying people with more kids make more money. We were so nervous about the gender that we did not want to know until birth. But that did not stop relatives from coming in with a bunch of old wives' tales saying based on my wife's symptoms that the babies were the same gender for sure. So flash forward to the day of the birth. The first baby was born Sunday at 11:20 a.m. I hear the baby crying and then silence from the previously chatty relatives. Finally, somebody, I forgot who, tell me it's a healthy girl and I should be proud. I was so upset because of the relatives put in my mind that if the first one was a girl, the second one would be 2. And I hate to say it, but I was having stress over adding twins to the house. I made excuses and walked out. Went out to the car and cried, and then drove to the nearby cafe to get a coffee to calm myself down. But before I got there, I got a call from my mom saying I had a son. I turned around the car and sped back to the hospital. However, when I got to my wife's room, a nurse came out and said in a rather smug tone, "Sir, your wife is asking that you not be admitted inside." I tried to tell her that I wanted to be with my wife, but she gave me a "you don't scare me" type eye roll. My wife banned me from her room for the next day, and finally this morning she said I could hold my twins. She pointedly made me acknowledge our daughter first, as if a baby understands English, and then let me hold my son. I could not stand it anymore and told her that throwing a grouchy nurse on me and then what she did just then was petty, and I cannot believe her. She got mad and said that she was naming our son the name I wanted, and then threw me out again. Am I the a-hole for going away to collect my emotions and feeling I'm entitled to my kids? Now for the comments. If this is real, you're the a-hole for so many reasons. Financially, you said you would be better off with just the one child you already had, yet you chose to bow to pressure from family to try and have a boy. And what makes you the biggest a-hole of all is walking out on your wife at a critical moment when you thought the second twin would be a girl. What concerns me most is how you will now treat those children. I'm sure your girls will not even realize they have a father. Not to mention, Opie, you know that it's your sperm that determines boy or girl, right? And unless you go through medical procedures to conceive, you can't just try for a specific sex. Take a middle school biology class and grow up. You're the a-hole. I find it hard to believe you don't realize that. Your wife is giving birth, and you have a breakdown because it's a girl? Your wife is doing through childbirth, and all you care about is her family name and gender. I swear, if I were her, I wouldn't let you near the children, and I would name the boy something different. If this crap name is stressing you out, then don't put that pressure on the next generation. Again, you're a massive a-hole.